The Chicago Bears have the #1 overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, in case you have not heard. And there is a very good possibility that they end up trading that pick due to the fact that they already have their future quarterback on the roster in Justin Fields. So if they do end up trading the pick, how many teams could potentially be interested? I'm going to count down and count out all of the teams that the Bears could trade with. So with that being said, if you are new to the channel, what is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports all back at it with another video talking, of course, NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. And as mentioned, talking about all of the teams that Ryan Poles, the Bears GM, could potentially trade with. So let's get into it. All right, so a couple of things here right before we get started. Ryan Poles, if he does trade down, and I believe he will probably not trade down that far. Right? I mean, you realistically want to stay in the top 10 at worst, so you can at least get yourself an impact player as well. But there is also a chance you could be in the top 15, and at worst, I guess, top 18. And so, taking a look at all the teams here, and you'll see all the teams on your screen right here, right now. We're going to take a look at all of the teams that could trade with the Bears, and we are going to specifically look at teams that need a quarterback. So just going straight down the list, right? Nothing else, just going straight down the list. At number 2, the Houston Texans need a quarterback. They obviously know Davis Mills is not the answer, so they could certainly trade up with the Chicago Bears and take a quarterback here. So that is a very strong possibility that the Bears trade down with the Texans. Moving on down, the Cardinals, they committed to Kyler Murray, so he's not an option in terms of, or at least the team's not an option in terms of quarterback, so we'll skip over them. The Colts need a quarterback in the worst way. And we know their owner, Jim Irsay, oh my goodness, he might move mountains to get his quarterback in the future. And we know Bryce Young's available in this draft, C.J. Stroud's available in this draft, so he could certainly look to trade up with the Bears. And they know Matt Ryan's not the answer. He's washed up. Nick Foles, no thank you. Sam Ellinger, So Colts, another prime team. Seahawks and Lions, next 2 on the list. They've got guys that I believe are stopgaps and solid stopgaps in Geno Smith and Jared Goff. They're not long-term future, 10, 20 years at the quarterback position answers, but they are certainly good enough to be the starters on the team for a number of years. And Geno Smith and the Seahawks made the playoffs, and Jared Goff and the Lions almost made the playoffs. So maybe those 2 teams don't need a quarterback. Then we get to the Raiders at number 7. They certainly, I believe, still need one. I don't think Jarrett Stidham's the answer. I don't think they believe Jarrett Stidham is the answer right away. So they certainly could be a team. And trading down to 7, you can still get an impact player and get, again, a king's ransom of picks. Falcons at 8. Look, Desmond Ridder didn't get a lot of playing time, but I don't know if the Falcons think he's the answer. Certainly Marcus Mariota, that experiment is over. So I'm not willing to go ahead and just cross off the Falcons and say that they don't need a quarterback. I think they're still in the market for one. So I'm going to put them on the list. Number 9, Panthers, definitely on the list. Sam Darnold's not the answer. I know he's better than Baker Mayfield, and we know how that experiment went, but long-term wise, I don't think they know who the answer is on the roster. They don't have an answer on the roster, so they'll look for a quarterback. We'll skip over the Eagles at number 10, obviously, with having Jalen Hurts. At number 11, the Titans. I think the Titans will look for a quarterback as well. Ryan Tannehill, man, I think that ship has kind of, reached the dock, and if you will, and maybe it's time for them to try something else. And Malik Willis has not shown he's, got much potential. And Josh Dobbs, I don't know if you want to commit to him. That's certainly going to be interesting. So I think the Titans are another team that could potentially be interested with the Bears. We already talked about the Texans. At number 13, the Jets need a quarterback in the worst way. Actually, that's the only thing this team needs, because they have a very good roster, but they don't have the quarterback on the roster. Now, I see them going more towards a veteran quarterback, like a Derek Carr if he's available, than a rookie, because the team's ready to win now, but we'll see. At 14, the Pats, I don't know, man. Mac Jones, is he not the answer? I'm still kind of torn here, so I'm not so sure on that. 15, Packers. If they move on from Aaron Rodgers, they'll have Jordan Love, so I'll leave the Packers be. Not saying Jordan Love's the answer, but they'll go with him. Commanders at 16, they need a quarterback too. I know they gave Sam Howell a start there, but Carson Wentz isn't the answer. Taylor Heineke's, a backup in this league, so that's another team that could potentially be an option. And then Steelers and Lions, again, we talked about the Lions, the Steelers. I think they roll with Kenny Pickett, give him a little bit more time. So overall, taking a look at this list, I counted out 8 teams that need quarterbacks. Out of those 8 teams, some teams we can rule out to say, hey, they probably will go with veteran quarterbacks or maybe their current quarterback. So like you can rule out maybe, let's say the Jets, because they'll probably go with the veteran quarterback. Let's say you rule out maybe the Falcons because they want to give Desmond Ridder more time. They want to give him another year. Maybe even the Raiders with Jarrett Stidham. But still, that leaves you with 5 teams, 6 teams. Like, there is going to be no shortage of teams for Ryan Poles to trade with. My preferred option here, again, this is a little bit more of a bolder choice, but I'm trying to double up. What I mean by that is I'm trying to trade down with the Texans, get a bunch of picks from them, and then trade the Texans pick at number 2 that I would have now with the Colts at number 4, get a bunch of picks from them, and like just keep accumulating assets. That's what I would do if I was Ryan Poles. Just double down. Why not? All right. Like, so that's what I would do instead of maybe just trading with one team. But certainly, I do think I want to stay in the top 10 to still get an impact player and to still get a top 10 player. But yeah, man, depends on the price. Depends on the price. So to me, that's where I would go. And these are all the teams that the Ryan Poles will potentially have calling him for the services of acquiring the #1 overall pick. So let me know what you guys think about that. Leave a comment down below as always. Thanks for watching.